actually
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, because I spoke to a few people and who'd be
Yeah,
interested in hearing this, but they perhaps weren't going to join, so they definitely would want to get a copy of
yeah,
the recording for sure.
yep, yeah, for sure. Awesome. See some folks joining in. We've got Rasmus. How's it going, Rasmus?
Fine, thank you. Uh, yeah, I was
Yeah.
unmuted.
No worries, no worries. I did a live stream yesterday and had pretty much every technical difficulty that I could. My camera decided it didn't always want to stay connected. My microphone just gave up at one point. It was literally brand new. My internet decided to randomly go out. Like it was so weird. It was like usually when you have technical difficulties, it's like a specific thing that keeps being a problem. But no, it was like any piece of whatever that could go out decided to go out. And I was
Mm.
like, I am so sorry for everybody watching this.
The demo
Yeah,
gods were
I should
not good that
Yeah,
day.
the demo gods were
yeah,
not happy.
I think I should sort of start this one by saying like at any given time there might be a power cut or an internet outage from my side.
See, you
So
have a good
far, it's
reason
like,
though. You have a good reason when you're like somewhere remote. Like that's the thing. I'm sitting here. I'm not even in my camper. I'm sitting here in my home in my
yeah,
internet that should be stable. Like yeah, it's funny. I always panic about this stuff happening in the RV and that's never where I have the problems. It's always
no.
when
I
I'm
did a
here.
speed
Hey
test
Devin.
earlier, and it's like the speed test here was like 5 times faster than what I was getting back in the UK. So
Wow.
it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that is so wild. Um oh geez. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a thing that it can go at any point, and you just have to accept it.
Yeah. It will, and we'll go with it. The thing I tell people, I honestly feel like it kind of humanizes people when you see that because it's like that's how you know it's live. We are not making any of this stuff up. We are not, we are literally here live. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'll go ahead and
it's
share in the Zoom chat. Mike's got a board to accompany this. Board to
yeah, into
accompany.
Trailblazer style.
Yes, exactly. So make sure to, I mean, feel free to bring that board up so you can kind of follow along if you want. Um, but yeah, we've got all sorts of things going on here. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think we're still gonna have some folks probably trickle in here a little bit, but yeah, do we want to kick it off, Mike, or what do you
Yeah,
think? Okay.
yes, let's go. So hello, I can see there's a few names of people that were actually there. So hi, Manon, Devon, nice to see that you're here. So this is a Trello. I've seen on LinkedIn there's hundreds of Trello team recaps going on. So this is a very Trello focused one, although it talks about other areas as well. Um, so as a sort of loose agenda, I just wanted to give a usual shout out to what's on the Trailblazer stuff. So some information about Trello Trailblazers. I actually created this board, which has a bit more information about the kind of what and why of Trello Trailblazers. So this board's public as well, and you can get to it from the other one. So have a look at that at your own leisure. I also wanted to just give a quick mention to Alicia, who was kind of in Brittany's absence, my Trello buddy all along through team. So yeah, it was really good fun, both of us spending time together. And yeah, her chapter, Alicante chapter, is co-hosting this and probably future events of ours as well. So I also want to just mention the sponsors. So we did a Trello takeover event before team started, and the guys at Crumble kindly sponsored that. So it was really good to meet up with them. Take a look at what they're doing with Crumble. It is really a great little tool for CRM within Trello. They also got CRM add-on for Jira. We won't talk about that too much here, but it takes something very, very simple and applies it to Jira. So have a look at what they've got. And then also Sendboard, email for Trello, which is one that I managed to talk to a few people about and say, like, if you're a support team in particular and you want to use Trello, then having a centralized inbox and using Sendboard is a great example. We've got a competition later on that also is going to be using Sendboard. So take a look at that and click on the link and see what you think. I'm just going to also give a quick mention to Blue Cat reports and forms because they helped along the way. And the competition for guessing the number of M&Ms in the jar, which was at the Trello booth, the form to fill in was a Blue Cat form. So yeah, have a look at Blue Cat. You can do things like that with it. And this is still open, so we'll come to that a little bit later. And also Amazing Fields, who also helps. And so yeah, have a look at these at your leisure, and just a few of our favorite power-ups for Trello. So before we all kind of stumbled across to the conference hall for Team 24, we did do a Trello takeover event, and this is the group photo. So there's a few guys there, but there's a few more photos there. It was pretty informal. We just got together and talked for an hour and a half about Trello, what we love and what we don't love. We ate some food, drank a few drinks. The guys from Crumble were there, as well as myself and Alicia and Katie from the Trello team. So it was an opportunity for some of the people there to actually have a direct conversation with someone from Trello, and she was busy taking lots and lots of notes. So I'm sure some of the feedback was sent the right way.
I was so jealous when I saw that picture, Mike. I was like, oh, I've never in my life wanted to be somewhere so bad as like right there. Yeah, we wished you were here, Brett. Yeah, but it was very mutual. I missed you all so much.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely missed you too. So, but you were kind of there in spirit and in leaflet form at least.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a few photos. You can have a look on this board and scroll through them. So I just wanted to kind of summarize the Team 24 sort of from a perspective as a newbie. This is what the guys from Sendboard had me wear.
I love it. It's like really building the anticipation.
Yeah, it didn't survive much longer after that. It broke 3 times on the way out, and this is the only photo I managed to get of it before.
That's so
before
funny.
It broke again for the last
That's how
time,
I felt about the Crumble hat at team this year. I was like, it needs to at least make it 2 team. It made it 2 team. It made it through the week, but it did not make it like on the return trip.
Yeah. So my Crumble hat made it all the way to Indonesia after this, but it's minus the horns now. So
minus the horn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I had this idea of sort of giving it to someone in Indonesia to wear for a bit and taking a photo, but yeah, the horns are gone, unfortunately. So yeah, as a newbie, I just wanted to go through some of the things that I found about this event. So it was the first time. One of the things that the preparation was, I was kind of a little bit nervous about the fact that it was my first time going and I was alone. Because most people sort of went with other people or they'd met people before. But to be honest, once I got in there, that wasn't the problem at all. Like you just start talking to people, you meet people that you've been chatting to virtually forever. And also sort of I made a beeline for the Trello booth, and that was biased, but that was one of the most welcoming places in the whole conference. So I felt very much at home there. It's also weird when you're sort of championing a product that's not really the focus of the event, but I think between us, the Trello team, Alicia and myself, like we gave a good shout for Trello, and I think there's a lot of people who've heard things about Trello for the first time and would probably actually give it a go for the first time, even if they're currently using Jira. So I really loved that. So a few other things I loved it. So meeting people, I met some of the kind of big characters in the Atlassian community, so that was really good fun. Man Andy, for example, and Dave, and there were so many others that I kind of met for the first time, and some of them were really amazing. We had some good fun, and the community team do an amazing job to kind of bring all those people together, and their whole job is to kind of support the entire Atlassian community. So it's really good to see that coming together, and I think there was like 150 plus community leaders there, so like it was a really good number. And Atlassian really, they know how to do these events. This one was a kind of more rushed, I think, than most of them are, but they still put on a great event, and then they put on a fantastic party at the end of it. So it was really good. One of the things I really liked as well was I ended up stopping and chatting to people who I'd never met before, and it was really just kind of natural. And people wanted to kind of talk and wanted to just stop, and you come from completely different areas and completely different worlds, and you can just stop and talk to people. And it didn't have to always be about Atlassian products. I had conversations about plastic reduction and saving the world and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So if anyone's going for the first time, I'd recommend that they kind of just go and embrace that and try and talk to as many people as possible. And brain dates were a really good part for me. There was a few different brain dates going on that I attended, and I really enjoyed them. And I'll come on to those in a minute because they're kind of relevant to Trello as well. The bit that I don't like, and this is just because it's me, is quite enterprisey, and there's a lot of big business stuff going on. There's high level meetings, people are trying to make money from it. I wasn't interested in any of that. I was just happy to try and push Trello left, right, and centre. But yeah, that's one thing to bear in mind. It is at the end of the day, a lot of the people exhibiting there are there to try and make money and try and sign big deals. So a few lessons that I learned is like, as Brett sort of mentioned to me before, and after, the whole time just goes so fast. It really is. It starts and then it's over before you even realize it is all a bit of a
It's
blur.
like its own time zone. Like you're in like this almost like black hole or like I guess like a what is the wormhole? I don't know. You're literally like it's so weird. I hope if I ever get told I have like an hour to live, like don't send me to team because it'll go by like that. Like I have to do something else.
Yeah, but you kind of can't, like, I went in sort of planning a few things and you just can't do that. You really just got to ride the wave and take it for what it is. It's never going to go to plan. Things happen that aren't expected, and you just got to enjoy that. And also, I'd recommend anyone going for the first time to challenge yourself to talk to people who aren't sort of in your world. And for me, that's a lot of people because the Trello world at this event was so small. But people are interested in Trello and people want to talk to you about it, and you can talk to people about other things as well. I mean, I'll be honest, I did go and visit the one of the Jira stands, and I talked for 15-20 minutes about Jira for marketers. So I try to keep an open mind as well. However, still prefer Trello. And lastly, just enjoy it all. Like I definitely enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to.
Oops, sorry, I think we had a new casualty.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's how I felt all week last week. Just a noise. So I didn't really attend many of the keynotes, but I did go to the opening one. It was with Arsene Wenger. As a Chelsea supporter, I wasn't a massive fan of Arsene Wenger when he had managed Arsenal, but I was happy to go along to see what he said. There were some bits in it that were quite stand out for me. Like one of the things he said was "be reflective to be effective." That was quite a good statement, I think. And he talked about, in terms of teams and businesses, putting the right players in the right positions going to get you the best result. And in football, you see it all the time, and in other sports where they play players out of position and they don't perform as well. But in work as well, if you put people in the wrong position, ask them to do the things that they aren't great at, you're not going to get the best out of them. And I think one of my messages with Trello and automation is that your aim is to try and use automation to clear off the noise from people's day and make sure they can focus on the thing that they do best. So I think that kind of sits with that as well. One of the messages, and this is more to do with sort of the way I live life now, is he sent a message out when they were asking how he became sort of a lifelong football coach. He said, firstly, you dare to dream, and then you have to work out how to make that dream come true. And then you have to try and lose all the negativity that stands in your way, and then you have to commit to it with everything you've got. And I thought that's something that can be taken into life generally, but also into work. So okay, let's move on to the main part, which was time at the Trello booth. So we did. Alicia and I managed to spend a lot of time with Jordan, Devon, Katie, and Erica, who's not in this photo, and they are fantastic. I had so much fun talking to them about Trello. I thought that it was only Britt and I that was so obsessed with Trello, but it turns out these guys are as well, and I think the rest of the Trello team are the same. So it was really good to realize that there's that connection, and they really want to know what's going on, what people think, what people want. They want to be really connected to the end users, which was really nice to see. So there was quite a lot of activity at the booth. There was a couple of surprising things. So there was a weird thing that a lot of people who were visiting the booth thought that Trello no longer existed. So one of the things that were doing was making sure people realize that Trello is alive and kicking and is something that they can benefit from. So it was the case that most people visiting were Jira admins. They were either using Jira or some of the other Atlassian tools. And they either thought that Trello had kind of been sidelined for those, or they used to use Trello and they don't anymore, but they still have some sort of love for it, and then remembered the good old days when they used to use it for running their product development. There's quite a lot of people who use Trello still for personal use, but they use Jira at work, and that seemed to be quite a common thing. And there was quite a few people who wish they still could use it at work, but were kind of at a corporate level being told to use something else. So that was interesting to hear. And one of the things that really stood out was the fact that there was quite a lot of people that just didn't know how powerful Trello is. So there was a lot of time being spent showing different features in Trello, and they're like, "Wow, I didn't know it did that." And that was quite a common thing that just keep coming up. Oh, I can do that, and then they would ask questions like, "Well, Jira does this, but well, how about Trello?" And this was something that I think the messaging was like, "Don't this Trello versus Jira thing's got to stop now." And like, actually, Trello and Jira is a great combination. So I think that people would definitely benefit from trying to use both in conjunction with each other. There was another thing that kept coming up as well. That I didn't expect this. Like a lot of people who had Atlassian cloud products were using Trello like as a tool for capturing meetings, whereas I would have thought naturally in those environments they'd use Confluence, but there was definitely a preference towards Trello for like the quick capture, being able to do things very fast and be able to get the information somewhere that you can share with people quickly. So that was definitely something that stood out as a big win for Trello. And I think there was like this pivot of messaging towards like Trello for personal productivity. And just to clarify what personal productivity means, it means like the individual, the productivity of an individual or a small team, as opposed to personal life versus work life. So there was definitely a case of Trello being targeted for like personal productivity, and all that's about like capturing all the things that you need to do in one centralized place to be able to then quickly plan them and then start to work on them. And that was definitely something that was a message that seemed to be consistent in terms of people's needs. So I spent a bit of time talking to people about the uses for Jira, and Jira seems to be really good at a sort of business project team level, but when it comes to getting the best out of people at an individual level, there's something missing. So that's where Trello can probably slot in and actually find ways of balancing everything you've got to do and trying to find the most effective way of doing it on an individual level. And the other thing that I really wanted to mention about the Trello team, Devin's on this Zoom, so it was great to spend some time with you, and thanks for taking all the ideas that I had, even the shitlist idea. I'm glad you took that one with us. But the team, like the Trello team, really want feedback from people using Trello, and they take every bit of feedback and every request, and it gets shared with the team. So it's really good to see that there's like that connection between the Trello team and the end users, which is just amazing. And here I am, stood by the Trello booth, the Jira booth. I did go over there to drop a few Brits leaflets of why you would choose Trello versus Jira. But ended up staying there for about 15 to 20 minutes to talk about Jira for marketers. And it just led me to think that we always talk about this Jira versus Trello, and there's a little bit of fake rivalry, but the truth is both tools are great. Jira is a great bit of software. Quite often Jira falls apart because people don't use it correctly or businesses don't set up correctly. So I think since this I've kind of got like more love for Jira than I had beforehand, but I'm still going to be Trello through and through. There's no change in that. And the Jira for marketers, there are some really good features in that suite, and it was definitely worth looking at if you're a new marketing team and you want to set that up, or your current business currently uses Jira. But other than that, I would still sort of suggest that for support teams, marketing, HR, there seems to be people doing the work are favouring Trello over Jira, mostly because of its ease of use, the speed that you can get up and running, the speed that you can get someone onboarded. That's the reasons that we're coming across from people as to why they would use Trello in those instances over something like Jira. And the question came up quite a lot. There's a lot of people talking about Jira versus Trello, and it was a case of, well, is Jira the right fit for you? Okay, use Jira. Is Jira the right fit for that team? Use Jira. If it's not, have a go with Trello, and it's likely that it could fill the void where Jira doesn't fit. Another thing that I really liked was going to brain dates. So this, I don't know if Brett, was this brain dates thing at the last team, or is it new? Was it a new thing?
Yeah, they definitely did it. I did not like take much advantage of that. But it was a thing at Team America earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think it's a really good thing, and I'm hoping they'll carry on doing it because I think it's a way of creating a topic that people can kind of come together with a common interest in, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about a specific product. And actually, most of the one we did try and do a Trello AMA, and not many people come by, so it was the ones that were product specific that seemed to be more popular. And the two that sort of stood out for me. So I hosted one about personal productivity and the fact that your productivity at work in virtual worlds is impacted by what's going on in your life, and was trying to get more information of how that can be improved. So I spent a fair bit of time talking to people about how they manage the balance between being productive in a work sense, but also being able to deal with those things in life that you can't predict, or that you have to build into your life. So if you're virtually working and you have to drop your pet off at the vets, or you've got to take a kid to nursery, those kind of things, they impact your productivity from a work perspective. But how do you balance that? How do you offset that? And how do you make the two things come hand in hand? And again, this idea that using something like a Jira, where it's focusing on the program project team, doesn't get down to that level of someone making the most effective use of their day, which is where I think that Trello can come in. And one of the big things that people were talking about was on the idea of capture, plan, do. There's still a gap of the capture element. So I've been trying to sort of brainstorm with people about how they want to capture information. They basically want to capture information from anywhere. So simple ideas like being able to snap a photo of something, or be able to write stuff in a notebook and snap a picture of it, and it gets automatically transcribed and put into a Trello card, or capturing anything from any website, grabbing it and adding that to a Trello card. Mobile phones, WhatsApp, Slack, like they want to be able to capture everything from absolutely anywhere as a starting point. And then what they want is some way of being assisted in understanding what of those will affect your day. So there was talk about this idea of sort of AI assist to organize your day, or to give you an idea of what you should be looking at, or what's important based on patterns that have happened over time. And that seemed to be the kind of things that people would think that would be able to help them. And then there was a brain date that Katie from the Trello team held, where we were talking about similar sort of topic, but like, how do you plan your work day? And then again, there was this mention of planned versus ad hoc work. So when it comes to planned work, structured work, Jira is great, but ad hoc work kind of gets lost. So then you want another way of being able to capture that. There was a general feeling across both of these sessions that meetings were a real problem for people. They were not productive time, and people felt like they needed to change. And one of the things to do is minimize meetings, so they really decide whether it's needed, and also keeping it as short as possible. So instead of an hour's meeting lasting an hour, it just has to last as long as it needs to achieve the goal. So that could be, you set a start time for a meeting, but you don't necessarily have to have an end time. You just say, once you've completed your goal, it's finished. So you could finish in 10 minutes if you've achieved what you want to set out, and that kind of thing. And yeah, so I found that information really useful, and it also fed into kind of where I think Trello can be really powerful amongst other tools. So all that information, especially on the capture side, is sort of fed into my thinking of what's going to be next for Trello. So that's kind of a general run through of my kind of whirlwind time at Team. There was lots of other things going on. Bash was amazing, but met loads of people. Got to do a side by side profile pic selfie with Mark Cruz, which is really cool. We talked about our motivations behind our faces, the face, and he was saying that he basically has exactly the same reason for doing it as I do, which is like you can have a picture taken of you and you kind of look normal, or you look at it and think, I don't like that, or you can just choose a face and have the picture taken on your terms. So like we both sort of said, yeah, let's take these photos on our terms and do the face we want. So yeah, it was really good. But yeah, had lots and lots of fun with lots of people. So absolutely loved it. And I think the other great thing about it was building towards potentially Trello's presence being much bigger around Team 25, and whether that's ideally through Atlassian also having a bigger place for Trello, but also if not, I think we'll try our best to make that happen. And I think we should start sort of planning now for some big Trello presence next year.
Oh yeah, I agree. Mike, I literally went on while we were sitting here, I was like, we really need to start planning for that. And I went ahead and added you to something after my talk later today. If you're free, we should definitely like carry on our conversation about this and like keep that going. But yeah, this is awesome. This resonates a lot with kind of how I felt from Team earlier this year here in the US. And it's just, I'm excited that you got to experience it, and I'm excited for us to both do it together now in Anaheim.
Yes.
In 25. So yeah, I agree. I'm funneling now. Like all of last week and the week before, it was like just primarily like FOMO, and now it has moved into okay, cool. Now let's we're all back. Let's take this energy and like make 2025 awesome and very Trello-y.
Yeah. And I think the energy shared amongst the Trello team as well. So these guys are going to give everything they've got as well to get to that point. So yeah, let's make sure we can be along for the ride. And we have the luxury of doing everything we need to do to promote Trello in the ways that we see fit. So it gives us a lot of scope to be able to do some great things. And definitely, my feeling coming away from it is that there's a lot of people who are big fans of Trello. There's a lot of people who see the benefit of Trello. There's a lot of people who see the benefit of Trello now that didn't before. So that's really good. And I think that we have to, let's plan. But if we can try and also get closer to the people using Trello and try and engage with them a lot more, hopefully through Trello Trailblazers, there's going to be a lot more engagement with people, and we can sort of start to build a bit of momentum around that as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I love this.
I wasn't checking the chat while I was talking. Was there any questions that came up at all?
I'm trying to see if there were any specific questions. It was mostly a lot of just kind of like bantering back and forth. Everybody getting excited for next one, talking about how Bash should definitely go back to being on Thursday and not in the middle of the party. Andy's excited we're here. Someone was asking about recap, and I said we're going to be sending out the recording, but also I linked to the Trello board. Andy's talking about how this was along when we were talking about Trello for like personal productivity sort of stuff. Andy was saying that his company has Jira for most employees, like most teams, and they sponsor Trello for personal productivity for anyone that wants it, but not everyone automatically gets a license, which I think makes a ton of sense because there's always going to be people who won't use Trello. So like, why, don't waste your money there. And and then we clarified a little bit because I was like, I assume everyone gets Confluence too. And he was like, oh yeah. He's like, literally everyone gets Confluence, and most, not all exactly get Jira. And even fewer get Jira at JPD. I think that's product discovery. So yeah. So basically there's the waterfall.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know from Andy what his thoughts are on the fact that it was mentioned many times that Trello was preferred over Confluence for quick quick capture and meetings and that kind of thing, which to be honest surprised me, because if I was working in an organization with access to Confluence, I would probably gravitate towards that. But I'm not going to complain about the idea of Trello being used. And I also think that if you're trying, again, for ad hoc meetings, throw a Trello board together really quickly and capture the information. Someone said, talking about Confluence again, that the problem they found is that people using Confluence would spend more time formatting everything than actually capturing the content. So that problem kind of goes away with Trello, because you just dump everything into it, and the information's there. And
it does, but I still manage to get ahead of myself sometimes and be like, do I want my board to look like this? What should my background look like? Do I want a sticker here? Like I feel like it's easy to fall into in any tool, but I know what you mean. Like there's really, it's like very straightforward to get it. Like it's harder to get distracted. Not impossible, but harder.
Yeah, that's probably something that we suffer from more than most. If you're using Trello,
that's probably true.
Just meetings every so often, you probably would be all right. But yeah, I get stuck down that hole of trying to find the right backgrounds and color lists, color cards.
Yep.
As you can see on the board.
Yep.
So there was the only other thing left to mention is that we, like, as part of this, there was a few giveaways. One of the things we had at the Trello booth was this count the number. So we had Trello M&Ms.
Slowly loading, building the anticipation again.
Yeah. I put the images I put too big. So we had a jar of Trello and M&Ms, and we were asking people to guess the number in the jar, and there's a form to fill out. So this is going to be still going until there's the jar. So it's easier to do in person because you can look around it and stuff. One guy actually came along and tried to get ChatGPT to guess for him, so he snapped a picture of it and
that's kind of clever.
It was thousands off. Like it come up with like 2,860.
Wow, it was thousands.
It was way off. Yeah, so if you were going to get 1,000 plus, but yeah, I thought it was quite funny that he thought he could shortcut it, and then so this is still open. So there's a link to the form here. So if you click on that link, I don't know if did I set it to window or did I set it to tab? I think.
Yep. Yeah, we can see it. It's loading. Yeah. It's in the. Yep.
Yeah. So it's got this. You just fill in your name, email address, and the number of M&Ms in the jar. There's some really good prizes actually. So first prize is 12 months of Trello Premium. The second prize is 6 months, and the third prize is 3 months of Trello Premium. So definitely, if you're watching this before Friday, go and click on this link and fill that out and have a guess, and we'll be announcing that winner on Friday. So the other little giveaways there are, so in conjunction with Sendboard, we've set up an event@trailblazer.club email address. So this is using Sendboard to do this. So if you email with the word Sendboard in the subject to event@trailblazer.club, then you have a chance to win 6 months free subscription of Sendboard's email for Trello, and also with that, I'll jump on and give you a run through or help set it up with you. And secondly, if you email the same email address with the word Brit's blog in the subject, you've got the chance to win a year's free of Brit's How to Trello subscription. So yeah, have a look at those and try and see if you can win.
Yeah, all great things there that you're definitely going to want to use. Trello Premium. I mean, I love using Trello Premium. I pay for it out of my own pocket this year. I used to get it like as a courtesy from like community and marketing and stuff. But this year I decided I actually wanted to pay for it because I wanted to make sure people knew that I care about. I think it's worth it enough to pay for it, and not just because it's given to me type of thing. So. But yeah, and Sendboard, I've been coming up with some really cool use cases for that lately, one of which for events like this. I might post a link to it. I just created a video about a fun use case I've been doing with it where for events, I've automated email. So like when we plan partner events, like if you've seen some of the other things we do with like Mighty Morphin Power Up series and things like that, I basically can make I just use Trello to automate all of the pieces of collecting the assets that I need, like logos and bios and things like that. And Sendboard is what makes that possible. And yeah, I mean, shameless plug for my How to Trello newsletter. You can totally sign up for free. The free version's really great, and in my super humble opinion, you get weekly tips in your inbox every Thursday morning about all things Trello. But the premium subscribers who usually pay like $9 a month, that's kind of next level sort of Trello stuff you can get there. So some of the things that looks like is one, I open up a Zoom link once a month where any of my premium subscribers can just hop in and ask Trello questions and get answers to things like that. And if they're, trying to figure out how can I use Trello to do this or how can I use Trello to do that, then, that's a great way to do that. I've also started doing some workshops with them specifically. So on Monday, actually, I'm doing a workshop going through some of my favorite automations and how I use them in Trello meal planning. And even if you're like, I don't know that I want to use Trello for meal planning, it's very interesting because these are some like really powerful automations that you can apply to a bunch of workspaces. So yeah, all of that is to say, these are all some fantastic goodies that definitely make sure to, get yourself involved in these and registered and check them out.
Yeah, I think so. And I will, in the meantime, also try and find out, maybe Devon knows what actually happened to the jar of M&Ms at the end.
I have no idea. That's a good question. I can ask Erica if she packed them up.
So we know for sure that you didn't take it back with you.
I did not.
These M&Ms on the loose, it's probably like some random branding now. We've just got it like all over the place, and it's just the world will find Trello where they find Trello.
Yeah, the M&Ms went down well. Like I can't believe how quickly, because we had them as well as the ones in the jar. We had like packets of Trello Trailblazers M&Ms, and there was like nearly 100 packs, and they all disappeared. And then there was the Sendboard M&Ms, and I was trying to sort of get people to sign up to click the QR code to get to the Sendboard website, and then they can have a tube of M&Ms. And yeah, they went pretty quickly as well. I think I disappeared for a while, and then when I come back, they're all gone. So yeah, people were enjoying the M&Ms. A couple of people came to the booth and said, "Oh, no, I don't want those. They're unhealthy." So maybe we need to get
rude.
Yeah, maybe like need to like.
Well, we're gonna get some granola. Get some like Trello granola, like
yeah,
Trello carrots. Ooh, Trello blueberries. Maybe that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'll leave that one with you.
Yeah, I'll brainstorm and work on that a little bit. Yeah, this is awesome though, Mike. Thank you so much for sharing all of this, and yeah, it helps me feel like I was kind of there, even though I wasn't officially there. So I appreciate I appreciate you giving us this recap, and yeah, now onward and upwards to more Trello things in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the summary message is like Trello's here, and Trello's going to come up with some great things over the next year, and we're going to come up with some great stuff to support that. So like, yeah, stick around. Make sure you realize that there is a place for Trello, even if you didn't think there was in your life.
Yeah,
and definitely. One of the things I did put together for the when people were talking to me, one of the things I kept saying is like, do the partner test with Trello. Like, if truth be told, if you're using a business tool, a business focused tool, you're not going to then convince your partner to do that, to plan your meals or to plan your holiday or to plan a wedding. Try to partner test with Trello. Like, if you can get your partner to use it and then start enjoying it, it's a great tool, and that also that means that it can traverse life and work seamlessly, which is why I think the uptake's so high in areas where like marketing and that kind of thing, that they can see that it's a tool that can be easily used across your entire life.
I really like the partner test, and I think that's a good analogy for ease of use and getting into it, and how to actually, like the ease of getting started, the lack of intimidation. Like that's always one of my favorites. And whether it's partner or, I know we think about, oh, Jira, like, well, we use it all the time. But if you're, depending on what you're working on, you may not be that used to it. Like, let's say you're working with clients and you're trying to like show them, status of something, or, I know a lot of marketing agencies will work with their clients to communicate projects and progress there. And they're not used to that, seeing that sort of stuff. So like, if they're like doing email, can they handle, the UI test there? Like, does it make sense? Will it resonate with them? So I think the partner test is a good one.
Yeah, it'd be really good as well as part of what we're doing to put out a few polls in the next few weeks. So, like with this sort of message of using it as a tool for capturing everything, and then being able to do something with what you captured, like trying to find out the methods that people would want to be able to capture things, or the ways people would make their life easier if they could do that. Like one of the examples for me is one I've built a make automation to do it. Is I quite often write into a notebook, especially when I wake up at night and I have an idea. I scribble it into a notebook, normally so badly that I can't read it the next morning. But I've now capture a picture of that on my phone, and upload it to a Trello card and use ChatGPT to transcribe it. And no matter how scruffy my writing is, it seems to be able to do it and put it into the description of a Trello card. So that's one way I've
that's a
tried
cool
to
idea.
capture things. Yeah, it works pretty well. But the other ways that I would like to capture things more is more like from voice notes and stuff, like transcribing like voice notes straight into Trello. So if you, I'd love to hear from other people if they've got any ideas of ways their life would be made easier for capturing things.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, also, Jordan really loved that. Do you know that little thing I did with Pixie Bricks for the Google Maps places?
Yes. Yeah.
He loved that, and he's like, "How did you do that?" And I was like, "Well, this is Brittany's world. Like, you need to chat to her."
Yes. Oh man, I'm working on a video right now about some Pixie Brick stuff I'm doing in Trello, because I recently made a mod that's it's not quite spring poop, but when you check off an item in a checklist, it sprays confetti and it makes a little like do sound. So because somebody asked me, they were like, "Can I make Trello like play like the Mario coin sound when I like check off a checklist item?" And she was like, "I'm joking." And I was like, "Oh, no. You've just given me a challenge." So I figured out how to do it with Pixie Bricks. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely listening to this.
Right.
I am.
Rasmus,
Yeah.
I see you've got a question about interest in getting AI into Trello for ad hoc reporting and batch updating, doing some testing on that lately. I definitely think there's an interest in AI in Trello, and I know they're working on some stuff. I don't know how much we could really talk about, but I know they're working on some stuff with like specifically like email to board and being able to, pass something in and then it do something with that rather than just put it in the body of a card. But ad hoc reporting, I definitely think there's an interest in people with that. I know I've had, I can think of one person in specific, but I'm sure there's been others who've asked for a way to be able to basically interact with ChatGPT about your Trello cards. And so basically being able to say like, based on what all you know about my boards, what did I do last week, to your point about the reporting, or, what do I need to focus on this week? Or, what are, top priorities for clients, things like that.
Yeah, that's
I think
exactly
that
what
also
I'm trying
came up.
to do, actually.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah.
I think that also came up with like not so much the reporting side, but the step before that, which is you've got all this stuff captured. Now you need to kind of plan when you're going to do it, that kind of thing. Actually, using AI to kind of analyze the things that it thinks, or provide you suggestions of how best to manage your day, instead of this idea of kind of like just drag and drop. Like actually, AI kind of come up with suggestions that would be pretty cool. And it also reminds me that, and I kept seeing it on the video that was on loop at the Trello booth. I think we talked about this Brit before. Like, I need to really start using the Atlassian intelligence more in descriptions, what it can do in descriptions.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it is so cool. Like, and I just never use it, and I really should start to.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the general ChatGPT thing I struggle with is that like remembering to use it in context. And it's like I'll be like, oh, that's a really cool use idea. Or like, oh, that does that. Or like you said, like, yeah, rewrite this description to, be like a proper like product, feature request or something like that. It's just like actually remembering to do it in the moment. But yeah. It's very cool with that. I like the find action items. That's actually one that when I saw, I was like, oh, that's super handy. If you like basically imagine using a description to like take a bunch of notes from meetings, you can use Atlassian Intelligence in Trello to highlight that text and then say, find action items, and it'll like spit them out, and then you could, copy those and like put them in a checklist and hit enter, and it'll be like a different one for each line break. So that's pretty handy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I also think it would be good for me to use it to try and make sense of some of the garbled nonsense I put onto things, like where I'm just typing with my brain going around like
Yeah.
really fast, and at the end of it, what's been spat out doesn't make any sense. So if I can use it to kind of summarize that in a way that's more sensible, that'd be good.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Well, if there's any other questions, feel free to, post them in the chat or come off mute and ask. But yeah, I think this was a great session and lots of good content here.
Yeah. Also, this board's going to stay in existence for a while. So, like, if you are, if you want to go back to it and have a look at anything, I did put some in each card for this. So there are some summary notes in there. So yeah, feel free to have a look at another point in there. Also, yeah, if you want to go there to guess the M&Ms or to enter any of these comps, just do that, and we'll announce the winner soon.
Yeah, definitely check that out. And before I let everybody go, I just want to let you know, if you're looking for even more Trello in your life, later today at 7:30 p.m. my time, so 8:30 Andy's time, 9:30 a.m. in the morning for Mike. I don't know everyone else's time zones. Probably middle of the night for Europe, but for various folks, this is an event I'm doing talking about getting on board. Basically, kind of like a Trello overview. So some of you here may be, maybe a little more advanced for it, but I'll take questions and answer things. And I'm doing this with the Las Vegas Atlassian community chapter. So that's coming up. And then I've also got another event coming up next Friday. I've never done this before as a live stream, but I thought it could be an interesting idea. I'm going to go through a lot of people don't know, Atlassian University has a Trello's fundamental course. It's basically kind of like an intro to Trello, but it's like an official path and like sanctioned by Atlassian. So I'm going to do a live stream and go through that and basically say, yeah, here's the, different, go through the path together. You can follow along with me and do it, and you can get a badge, a certificate. I'll get, I've done it before. So spoiler alert. It won't be my first time, but this will be my first time doing it live stream and answering any questions as we go. So if you're like, like this Trello you're all talking about, like maybe I should start figuring out how to get it in my stack. These would both be good sessions to chat through with that.
Yeah, and I guess we'll start thinking about other sessions we can do as well.
I know. I was gonna say we've got to figure out our next Mighty Morphins Power Up Rangers too. So if you've got any power up categories you've been wanting to think through, send them our way and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, and maybe maybe we need to indulge ourselves in an automation related one soon, like one specifically for automation.
Yeah, probably should. It would be cool to do like an automation series that's like very beginner. I've never touched automation. Show me the 5 things I should understand. And then like, okay, I've done some more stuff. Like now I want to take it to the next level. Rasmus, I know you've been doing a bunch of stuff with like there's probably a level 3 that involves like using like the API and things like that. But like, and then maybe there's another level of like connecting with external tools like Zapier and Make and Pixie Bricks and all sorts of things. So we could definitely start a series about that. That could be really fun.
Yeah, we have to dig out those hardcore Trello nerds for this.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's where I'm like, it's apparently there's only 2% of Trello users I think are actually like creating those automations and things like that. So the thing is, those 2% of us are like really freaking stoked and love it and can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we'll bring you all there. We'll start it easy enough to get you hooked and understand it, and then you'll be like, okay, now I want that. Like, teach me your ways.
Definitely. If you look back on when you started doing automation, like you only ever knew. Before Trello bought the Butler automation, like it was. Yeah. That was my first introduction to automation, really. So like I didn't know. But there was a couple of people who came up to me and said like, "Oh, the interface is really clunky." Yeah. But that's only because it's different to what exists now. But actually, once you get your head around it, Like, and then you
Yeah.
start to see what you can do there. Then things like become alive, and you start to
Right.
become addicted to it.
Yeah, you kind of have to understand the lay of the land. It's very confusing, especially like if that's your first, thing of automation. That's why usually when I'm teaching newbies that I'm like, here's a couple things like principles that are helpful to know, agnostic of if you're using Trello automation or Zapier or any sort of tools. Like you need to understand the whole, what's a trigger, what's an action kind of concept. And you need to be able to think through, exactly what you want to happen and when you want it to happen, because that's not a Trello automation skill. And like even in the community, people will ask questions and it's like, I need you to tell me exactly what you want to happen and I'll tell you the syntax, but you can't just say, I want it to post a comment. Well, when do you want it to post a comment? Like, what do you want the comment to contain? Like that's where the real kind of nuance is in figuring it all out. So yeah, if anybody's interested in that, we'll get you there.
Yeah, that'd be good. Most of it would just be for our own enjoyment, though, won't it?
Yeah, it's probably true. Probably true.
That if we can enjoy an hour of talking about that and bring a couple of people on the journey, then we've won.
Well, and I'm not giving up on my goal of, it's not really a goal, I guess, so much as a wish, but I would love for me to be able to like package Trello automations to say, forget it. You don't want to build this. You just want to activate this on your board. And I'm not giving up on there's a future with that, hopefully someday.
Yeah.
I think that could help us get past that 2%, because most people don't want to start creating automations, but if they could like activate it and see it there and it working, and then be like, oh, maybe I'm going to now go tinker with this piece of it, or I've got an automation where when a card is added to the board, it adds me to it. Like that's out of the box. Now I actually want to add a label too, and they go into that and edit it. So I think that could be really. I mean, yeah, we'll see though.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep pushing that one, and
right, exactly.
We'll get our wish one day.
We'll wave that flag. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I think we're gonna call it here, but you know how to reach all of us. Thank you everyone for joining. Andy, it's so good to see your face.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like we've been like missing each other in like all of these events. There's just I don't know. Everybody's inspired to do events this year, so there's just too much going on. But yeah, we need to catch up soon.
Been almost a year since we were in Alexandria together, so maybe we need to meet up there again.
My gosh, that is, yeah, we definitely should. You know what? Actually, no, I need to, now that I think about this, I need to message you. I'm going to be even closer to you. I'm going to be in New York. I'll message you. I think it's like November 7th through 11th. I'm mostly going to be doing stuff with my sisters, but I can probably break away at some point if you'll be around. I would love to see you.
There's always time for coffee.
Yes, always time for coffee. I love that. Okay, yeah, I'm literally going to message you right now those dates, so
perfect.
Don't forget. But yeah, thank you everybody, and I don't know if anybody else wants to hang out. Let me know where you live, and I'm sure I'll make my way roughly around there at some point. We'll hang out.
The Trello tour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Awesome.
All right.
See you, folks.
See you later.
Yeah. Good night, Mike. Bye.